Hi guys, and welcome to Super Met. Today I am driving the Honda E. So car's just been for a bit of a car wash. It was filthy dirty, looked terrible. So I'm out and about in it, and we're going to have a little look around and just have a chat about the car, see how it's been acting, see how anything new that has come up on it, and just generally we're going to talk Honda E. So enjoy the show, please subscribe, hit that like button, and let's get on with things. So the Honda's been fantastic. It really is exactly as the car was meant to be. It's a small town car. It's meant for bombing around back lanes, going and doing shopping. It's not meant for going on long journeys. This is a town car and nothing more. It does exactly what it says on the tin. So I'm now used to the interior mirrors, for instance. These mirrors have been fantastic and I'm sort of getting used to them. So you've got one over here, one here, and one here. They are brilliant and they're very clear. They seem to work in all weathers. I find at night, when it's going dusk, I do get a sort of a grainy area coming up on the screens at times, but it's nothing that really alarms me and it hasn't been too much of an issue. I've also driven in wet weather with it, and the side cameras never ever kind of get furred up. They never get any water on them, but the rear view camera for some reason doesn't it doesn't seem to have the same coating on it as the side cameras. So what I've noticed is the back gets quite messed up quite quick, and you need to put your rear wiper on to actually wipe it, and you can see the wiper going across. It's quite funny, but it's generally never been too much of an issue. Once it's dark, it's absolutely fine, but it's that in between daylight, nighttime, it's that sort of sunset time and dusky time, I find it's a bit harder to actually do something with it. But it's a small gripe, nothing too major really. Except for that, range has improved. I've only got 48 miles in the tank at the moment, so I really don't have very much juice in it. I'm going to be testing it out shortly and plugging in the granny charger, which I'm a little bit worried about. So I was plugging that in earlier today to see if it worked, and hopefully I think I've got it worked out. So it appeared to be with the green light saying it had power, and then it took a couple of minutes to actually recognize the charger, and the charger then went to a blue light which was flashing on and off, and I believe that's charging. But it did say 11 hours from just over this, from about, 50%. That is a bit worrying, but we'll see how it goes. I mean, you know, I'm going to an area where I'm pretty sure there aren't going to be any chargers. So I think I need the granny charger ready to rock and roll. And I'm just basically going to plug it in, and I'm going to plug the car in, and then I'm going to walk away from it and leave it for 24 hours. And I'm hoping that I've got enough to get back. And then what I am hoping is, if it hasn't charged particularly successfully, I will then go to one of the other chargers, Genie or InstaVolt or one of those, I don't know. I'm going to need to register. So any of you guys comment, please. Let me know where is the best charger to do a charge on this, a public charger that's as quick as I can go. And obviously, you know, Tesla's so easy in the Model 3. I just go and plug it in, and generally I'm done and dusted sort of 45 minutes later at maximum. This isn't going to be as fast, I know that, but it's fine. I'm not overly concerned about it. It should be fine for what I need. So that is the charging side. I have a new stick to go in, a new media stick. So I've had the Amazon Prime stick in there, and that was good with films and things, but it was always sort of a bit of a pain on connectivity. So I am now going to try a new one, and I've got one called the Rock, I believe, which we will plug in a minute, and you guys can see, I hope, operating. It's just such a fun car. I mean, everything about it is fun. It's small, it's agile. You've got to get used to how thin you can be against other vehicles when you go past. That's a bit weird. It still takes me time. You get out of this car and you go into another car, and suddenly you're like, whoa, I'm going to hit that car. But you've always got so much. So it's a bit disconcerting, and what you see in the mirrors always basically appears closer. I'd love to be able to shove everything out a bit, but I can't. I can obviously adjust where the mirrors are, but I can't adjust the way things are perceived by my eyes, and that's the only problem. But there's no issue with it. Honda has done exactly what they set out to do. They said they wanted to produce an easy town car, and they've done it. I mean, it is perfect. what I would love is two single items. I would love a 50 kilowatt battery. If they did a way of extending it, I mean, just a plug-in box, okay, yeah, it might take your boot up, but if they could produce a box that gave you another 10 or 20 kilowatts, I'll tell you what, I would buy it instantly. If they said it's going to be £3,000, £4,000, I would be buying it today and putting it in the boot. Another thing that I think would be great is down on the center console, you've got a button for one pedal driving, so regen driving, like you have in the Nissan Leaf, you have in the Tesla, you have in all of the EVs. Now, this button, once it's depressed, switches the system on, and then you can change the intensity by the paddles behind the steering wheel. Main issue I have with it is every time I get out of the car, go into Sainsbury's, buy your shopping, come back to the car, it's not working any longer. Now, having come from a Tesla Model 3 long range, which has that feature built in, and it has that feature so it's applied as the driver wants it all the time. You don't have to press a button, it's working from the point you get in and you set off, that button is already effectively pressed. This car isn't, and I've noticed a couple of times I've come up to junctions a little bit quicker than maybe I should have done, and I let go of the throttle, and if you're not paying attention, the car rolls forward and then you find yourself jamming the brake on, because of course you don't have that capability which is going to stop you with the motors getting regeneration power and actually braking the car by the motor. Except for that, I don't really have too many other issues with it. It's holding up really well. The seats have all been fabric protected. There's no stains or marks on these seats, says he, as he finds one. No, he doesn't. It's actually sunlight. The car is just really, really nice, really easy to live with. It charges up super fast on my Zappy at home. I mean, really 3.5 hours and it's done. I never let it go all the way to the bottom, and I never fill it all the way up. I'm trying to protect the battery pack. I have noticed I'm now registering in the range, obviously 46 miles at the moment. It is coming up with about 110 miles on here, and in winter I was getting about 95 to 98. It was never really going above that 100 marker, so the weather makes a massive difference for this battery. Radio, hit and miss at best. There is no external aerial on this car. I believe it's probably built into one of the windows, the front windscreen, back windscreen maybe, somewhere like that. Or maybe in a side panel, it could have a large aerial in a side panel. It's not very good. The DAB audio is okay, I would say, at times. That's something else. If you have one hand off the steering wheel, it doesn't like it. It tells you constantly to put two hands on. There's no way of removing it from what I can see. So again, if you guys know, please shout, let me know. I'd love to find out, because I often will drive, as I am at the moment, one hand on the steering wheel, you know, other hand is free to do things. Not necessarily dangerous. I can put my hand back on the wheel very easily, but it's just more, I find it more comfortable to rest it on the armrest or the other one. I'd love an armrest in the center. I've seen some of the kits that have been coming out. I don't particularly like them. I think they look a bit aftermarket, a bit used and a bit cheap, really. There must be another product that is better, I think. So that's something I'd love to find out more on. Bodywork, fantastic. I ceramic coated it with the CarPro ceramic coating, which actually I posted on one of the forums on Facebook the other day on the Honda E interest group, and it's really proven very good. So I did this car now. I mean, the car's coming up to what, 6-7 months old, I suppose. Sorry, longer. It's 8 or 9 months old now. I bought it in October, and I ceramic coated it when it was brand new, and it's been fantastic. It was washed an hour ago, and the guy said to me, wow, the water on your car is amazing. It beads off and just doesn't collate anywhere. So it's the best 45 or 50 pounds I've ever spent. I will put a link in the description down below. It was super easy. I was very concerned about it. I PPF all my vehicles, and obviously I'm spending £2,000-3,000 when I PPF, but you get a certain finish on these cars, and then I have them coated with a special G-Technic coating which can go onto the plastic of the PPF, and it doesn't crack or break. It's pliable. This is a non-pliable coating. It basically comes out like glass, and it's wonderful. It's keeping it clean. I'm not having to wash the car very often. I'm washing it, you know, every probably 3-4 weeks. I don't really use it very much. I'm really sorry, guys and girls. I love it, and I love the way people react to this car, but I've only just turned 1,140 miles in what, you tell me, October, 8, my brain's gone blank, I'm driving. Is that 9 months? Probably something around that figure. So I'm really not doing very many miles in this car. I do get range anxiety quite a lot. On short journeys like this, I'm just going to the shops, I have no issue with it. Boot's a bit small, but I expected it. I didn't buy it for a massive boot. I didn't buy it for its load lugging capability. I bought it because I thought this was a good fun vehicle and it was easy to drive. There was nothing more to it. I basically fell in love with the shape. It reminded me of a car my gardener had, or my parents' gardener had when I was a little boy. I would have been about probably 7 or 8 years old. And he bought this brown, it was sort of poo-coloured brown Honda Civic. And it was very square, and he had this air horn on it, which played sort of the Dukes of Hazzard noise, which of course, when you're 6, 7 years old, you think is just awesome. Now I look back and it was the height of bad taste. Very big dice hanging from the wing mirror, but those cars are hard to get hold of now. You can't buy them, and it was seriously loved. People loved it. It was like a mini sort of hot hatch. I mean, it wasn't particularly hot from what I remember, and I've never driven one, but I don't think it was the best of cars. But it was cool. I mean, it was the way it looked. It was the boxiness. It was probably the way it handled. It was very square. And Honda was doing some pretty interesting things at that kind of time in sort of the 70s and the 80s. They were really on form because they'd come out mostly from motorsport. So this reminded me of it, and as soon as I saw it, I thought this is the one for me. And of course, I opened up something on Drive Tribe 2 days ago, and there it was, the coupe version, and that's the car I wanted when it first was released, with their concept cars. And I would love that car. Now they've said they're going to build it, but they haven't said the motor they're going to put into it. So I'm a bit worried about it because they were talking about a very, very small motor. Now it's going to weigh a fair amount, and I'm sure Honda won't just be chucking in any old motor. It needs to be bigger than this motor to make that car fun. And if they did it, they'd have a hoot on their hands and they would sell it like hotcakes. But it needs a bigger battery, and I'm hoping they have learned from their mistake with this car. And I know it's only meant to be a town car, and you guys are probably going to write me lots in the comments, but I do think this is such a great car, and it will be used so much more by me, and not just me. I know a lot of other people that would actually take this on a longer drive. You know, if I wanted to go to the beach, I'd be worried. I don't think I'd go there and all the way back. I live in London, southeast London. For me to go to Rye or Camber Sands, one of those areas, that's 65 miles. I get down there, no problem at all. Have my day at the beach, get back in the car, and I'd be running out halfway back. So, and there's definitely no charges in that location. It's rural, it's a village. So, come on Honda, give us the first plug-in pack in the boot, or just build one with a bigger battery. Then I can chop this one in and I can get one with 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 kilowatts. Awesome, it'd be fantastic. And I would love to see a hot version of this coming out. And there's been talk of it, but I don't know if they're going to do it. But if they did a twin motor in this and they gave it 250 horsepower, 300 horsepower, what a scream. This would be an awesome car, and I'd be the first person to get my name down. Anyway, that is about it today. I'm going to get a few driving shots. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe and click the like button. I'm finding I've got traction on the channel now. I'm trying to produce at least 2 videos per week. I know it has mostly been PEVs, not EVs, so it's been personal electric vehicles. So mostly it's been scooters and things along those likes, and you're probably all quaking now in your chairs and thinking, oh no, he's one of those hooligans. I'm not, but I do think the PEV has got a place in society today, especially with the way we've just had pandemic. So I am all for it, and we are looking at developing something that is much safer, much better, something that can become much more road legal. So follow the channel. There's going to be lots of different things on there. I have the most beautiful Ferrari SF90, not an EV, part EV. It's got a battery pack, it has got motors, but it's got a turbocharged motor behind you, mid-engine, and it is just stonking. So I will put a quick snippet of it. Now I'm going to see that next week, and that will be out in next week's videos, and it is a weapon of a car. Apparently the fastest Ferrari ever made. Obviously has a serious price tag, but should be good. Stay safe, drive safe, look after those Hondaes and Teslas and whatever else you're driving, and hit that bell. Get everything that comes through from the channel. See you soon, guys. Stay safe.